Welcome to the Art of War for helpers. This episode, whichever episode it is on Chapter 5 of the Art of War, Energy. How does energy affect therapy? Well, I think one way to start this conversation is a quick review of some of the tactics for war against distress that we've covered so far. And I am calling it quick tips for great focus. Ask yourself 3 questions. Is this happening now? Is this something I need to address now? Am I in the present moment? Am I being present? Ask yourself, 2, is this mine? Is this something that's my responsibility to address, and is it my responsibility to address right now? We're in battle against distress, but it's a long war, and we need to be expertly timed like a falcon with keenly adept skills to see exactly when to swoop in and to battle in the moment with a very well planned intervention. And we carry our interventions like a bow we've carefully crafted and we've held back perfectly with keen awareness. And so in chapter 5, as we review our focus, we might ask quickly, is this happening now? Is this mine to solve? Do I have appropriate interventions planned? And then am I acting out of ego? Check your ego at the door before you show. I would also say, let's live as if everything we do is recorded. For our best interest, for clients' best interest, for everyone. Just act like you have a little someone on your shoulder helping you keep that focus. In this battle of energy, when energy is what we're discussing, I think focus is a good place to start. And then knowing what your weak points are and what your strong points are, and how to effectively use your own force of energy for this fight for good against distress. Another way we can dig into this subject of how do we use the art of war to fight distress, to increase meaning, and to reduce despair in the world for clients, for ourselves, if we are clients, and to just be better in this fight. I would say that chapter 5 talks about something that we could translate into the world of mental health as a discussion of motivational interviewing. The process of motivational interviewing was talked about to me recently in a work training as a dance. We want to be in a dance and we don't want to wrestle. We're not wrestling with clients. We are wrestling a bit with distress, and we need to do that expertly. And we need to do that in a way that keeps someone engaged in the fight with us, not us battling another person with our ego or power trips. And the art of motivational interviewing talks about this. We're in a dance, we're in a helpful dance. We're just a partner. And in this battle dance, like a bit of a sword fight, we have our verbal and our non-verbals to reach out, to make those connections, to make those inroads for a change that will win the war, ultimately win the war for us. Sun Tzu tells us, the quality of decision is like a well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its target. We have to know when to use our energy, when to lean a little bit towards our client, or ask our clinician to lean a little bit towards us and give more, and when the client or ourselves, when we need to show up and do the work, or when a client needs to work equally with us. How we use the energy of resources of things like community mental health workers, therapists, arms workers, case managers. Those are finite resources, and the issue of energy could not be more important. Are you giving energy equally to your clients? Are you showing up for people who are willing to show up for you and using that resource well? And are you being compassionate by being straightforward and honest with people about what resources are available, how to use those resources well, and giving good follow-up when someone might be in danger of losing the precious resource of your time, whatever the case of that relationship might be. So if we review what we've learned so far from Art of War for helpers, we'll know that we've, number one, laid good plans. We have good treatment plans, we have great safety plans, and we have gotten to know our client. We know what the distress is, we know what we're battling. So we can start to map out really good evidence-based interventions that have in mind the client, and we have that bow crafted and strung and pulled back as Sun Tzu has taught us, so that when it's time to strike, we have the proper tool and we're ready like a honed falcon to swoop in only appropriately and only to have success. And when we have number three, we talked about we've battled and controlled our biggest enemy. And our biggest enemy is our own ego and our own personal issues. Just like the distress that we battle is this similar, same personal battle, we have to have ours fought and won, or dug in a safe recess deep inside the earth, as Sun Tzu tells us. But we have to defeat our first enemy first, and then that will be when we're prepared to have proper focus and to apply the energy of the resource of ourselves properly in this battle against distress and this battle for meaning. Because you are fantastic warriors and you matter. And clients, you're fantastic, fantastic warriors, and you matter so much too. Number four, that's when we can wait and listen carefully for our openings to swoop in. And when we do that, we offer thoughts of hope, thoughts of relief. We don't ever offer evidence-based interventions that we might know of in a way that it shows that we don't know how. We need to use things that are truthful in a way that is also effective, client-centered, skills-based, and beautiful. Do it. It matters how you do it. And just know that if we've put our ego in check and we're waiting with focus and client-centered focus, that clients will give us opportunities and lots of ins to offer the right intervention at the right time. Again, we know that ego is our worst enemy. And at a recent training, I will credit my employer, an additional focus I was given is the fact that curiosity, while ego is our worst enemy, curiosity is our best friend. And then you have to keep your knowledge of evidence-based interventions, affirmations, motivational interviewing. You have to keep that all sharp, so your instincts in the moment can be trusted and prompt. Remember your golden thread of guidance. This is keeping you from getting lost. This is keeping you from misapplying your energy and zapping out in ways that might harm others. Remember your golden thread of guidance. This keeps you from getting lost. It is the client's best interest. And if you as a client are feeling lost in the mental health system, you can have that gut check to that golden thread, and I hope you do. Because when you can feel that your best interests are not at the focus of that moment, get out. Seek better help. Tell someone your experiences, please. Share your experiences here. I would love that. Sun Tzu warns us to expect moments of confusion and chaos, where our energy feels misapplied, confused. Keeping calm and allowing silence helps us to refocus when confused in sessions or when found in chaos, the inevitability of chaos. To paraphrase Sun Tzu's comment in this, preparations for sessions are like pulling back the bow, and decisions and interventions, comments to clients in session, are like the final releasing of that arrow. We only do it with the seriousness that that would entail. We don't go into sessions and make things up on the fly. We don't go around pulling back the bow and firing wildly, if you follow the metaphor through. Sun Tzu says, hiding order beneath the cloak of disorder, concealing courage under a show of timidity, masking strength with weakness and deceitful appearances, are also roles of the masterful warrior in battle. But I would urge you to hone the skills of transparency and client-centered care before you start to hone any skills of that you think might be appropriate of deception or being less than honest. First, be good at client rapport and knowing how to build relationships before you start to think that it's important to take on skills that seem more deceitful or masked or that in any way create an illusion against clients. I really warn against that. I really want to know how you feel. How do clients or clinicians feel about the role of lying in therapy? And what have you seen when you've been out there in the field? Don't forget about group supervision. Don't go it alone. Sun Tzu talks to us about this a lot in the chapter 5 about energy. Don't be everything in one battle. Don't be the whole army. Don't be everything to a client. Clients, don't have your therapist be everything in your world. You have to have diversity of supports, like the way a stool has a bunch of legs. And that's my favorite image that I came up with in working crisis mental health care is you can have things that are really sturdy supports, but you can't just only have one support. Well, hey, that's all I have to say about energy. Conserve yours by keeping your spirits high, honing your craft, applying your energy in ways that are meaningful to the clients and effective for you. Do fun things. You know what to do. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for showing up.